wá tẹ̀síwájú.
He was the worst of the sinners.
Òun náà ni ẹlẹ́ṣẹ̀ tó burú jù.
What should such a person live for?
Kí ni nǹkan tí?
What should such a person live for?
Kí ni irú ẹ̀ńtọ̀ kí ló yẹ kó
Why
láàyè?
must we allow such a person to live?
Kìí ṣe láti máa gbàrú ẹ̀ńtọ̀ láàyè láti
But
máa
God
gbé.
allowed him to do.
Ọlọ́run gbà láàyè láti máa
Rather
gbà
than
láàyè.
killing him,
Ìtọ́lọ́run ó fi wá pa á.
rather than punishing him,
Ìtọ́lọ́run ó fi wá fìyà jẹ.
Anything.
Ìtọ́lọ́run ó fi wá ṣe nǹkan tó
Paul said,
Paul wá wípé
God decided to show him grace.
Ọlọ́run wá fi orí ọ̀fẹ́ fún un.
And he displayed this grace in
Ó
him.
sì wá fi orí ọ̀fẹ́ yìí hàn nínú
He
rẹ̀.
did not only display this
Ó
grace.
ṣe pé ó fi orí ọ̀fẹ́ yìí ní.
Paul has this to
Paul
say,
ní eléyìí láti sọ.
that God was patient with him.
Ọlọ́run mú sùúrù pẹ̀lú rẹ̀.
And he appointed him to his service.
Ó sì wá pè é sínú iṣẹ́
And
rẹ̀.
he now gave him
Ó sì wá fún un ní.
a great name,
Ó wá fún un ní orúkọ ńlá.
great popularity.
Àti
These are the things Paul said
Àwọn nǹkan tí Paul sọ
in
yìí.
1 Timothy chapter 1.
Ó mú sùúrù pẹ̀lú
He
rẹ̀.
appointed him to his
Ó sì
service.
wá pè é sínú
He
iṣẹ́ rẹ̀.
gave him great
Ó
name.
wá fún un ní orúkọ
He
ńlá.
gave him great
Ó tún
popularity.
wá sọ di ìlú
He
mọ̀ká.
counted him faithful.
Ó tún wá sọ di olóòótọ́.
That was God what did for him.
Nǹkan tí Ọlọ́run ṣe fún un nìyẹn.
I see transformation in action
Mo rí ìyípadà lójú iṣẹ́.
in the lives of some of the people mentioned in the text read to us.
Nínú ayé àwọn kan tó jẹ́ wípé adárúkọ níbi tí a kà fún wa.
Especially the women mentioned in this statement.
Mo rí tó jẹ́ pé adárúkọ rẹ̀ tí a sì fi hàn fún.
Was not fantastic at the beginning.
Kìí ṣe ìtàn tó dùn gbọ́ létí láti ìbẹ̀rẹ̀.
Some of the women mentioned
Ara
here
àwọn obìnrin tí adárúkọ wọn níyìí.
were Gentiles by birth.
Wọ́n jẹ́ aláìgbàgbọ́ nípa ìbí.
At the beginning of God,
Wọ́n ní Ọlọ́run.
they were without hope in this world.
Wọ́n ní ìrètí rárá nínú ayé
But
yìí.
their contact with the God of Israel
Ṣùgbọ́n ìbáṣepọ̀ wọn pẹ̀lú Ọlọ́run
changed
Ísírẹ́lì.
their
Ó
lives.
wá yí ayé wọn
And
padà.
when the Lord did
Nígbà
this,
tí Ọlọ́run sì wá ṣe
He
é.
also transformed them.
Ó sì wá yí àwọn náà pẹ̀lú
As
padà
much
pẹ̀lú.
as they were brought out in glory.
Bí a ti wá mú wọn jáde nínú ògo.
And the glory became so
Ògo
great.
yìí ó wá jẹ́ tó tóbi tó
As
bẹ́ẹ̀.
much as they gave birth to the Messiah of the whole world.
Débi wípé àwọn pẹ̀lú gan wọ́n wá bí Mèsáyà
They
gbogbo ayé.
became part of the greatest
Wọ́n
lineage
wá darapọ̀ mọ́ àwọn ìran tó
that
tóbi jù.
lived on
Tó
earth.
jẹ́ wípé ó gbé nínú
Who
ayé.
gave birth to the Messiah.
Ẹni tó jẹ́ wípé àbí Mèsáyà láti
And
pàṣẹ wọn.
without doubt, people of God,
Láìsí iyèméjì ẹ̀yin ènìyàn Ọlọ́run.
this reveals in detail
Eléyìí ó ṣe àfihàn ní
the
kíkún.
same thing the Bible is saying in Ephesians chapter 2,
Nǹkan kan náà tí Bíbélì sọ nínú ìwé Éfésù
verse
kejì.
19 and verse 22.
Ẹsẹ̀ ìkọkànlélógún àti ẹsẹ̀
In
ìkejìlélógún.
Ephesians chapter 2,
Nínú ìwé Éfésù orí kejì.
verse 19 and verse 22,
Ẹsẹ̀ ìkọkànlélógún àti
the
ìkejìlélógún.
Bible makes us to understand
Bíbélì jẹ́ ká ní òye rẹ̀.
that this transformation came into action in everyone who comes to Christ.
Wípé ìyípadà yóò máa ṣẹlẹ̀ nínú gbogbo ẹni tó bá wá
If
sọ́dọ̀
anyone
Kristi.
comes to Christ,
Ẹnikẹ́ni bá wá sọ́dọ̀
He
Kristi.
will make them citizenship of the
Yóò
kingdom.
wá sọ wọ́n di ọmọ ìjọba náà.
They will no longer be alien.
Wọ́n wà ní jẹ́ àjèjì
They will
mọ́.
no longer be foreigner
Wọ́n ní jẹ́ àjèjì
of
mọ́.
the promise,
Sí ìlérí.
but they will also be built
Ṣùgbọ́n a wà kọ́ àwọn pẹ̀lú.
unto the and become part of the household of God.
Wọ́n wà di ara àwọn ilé
And in
mímọ́ ti
verse
Ọlọ́run.
22,
Àní ẹjẹ́ ẹsẹ̀
the Bible
ìkejìlélógún.
makes us to
Bíbélì
understand
jẹ́ ká ní òye rẹ̀.
that they will now be built
Wípé a
up
wà kọ́ wọn pẹ̀lú.
and become temples for God to dwell in.
Wọ́n wà di ilé tí
And
Ọlọ́run
in
ṣe.
1 Peter chapter 2,
Àti nínú ìwé Pétérù kìíní orí
verse
kejì.
10,
Ẹsẹ̀ ìkẹwàá.
there is another strong pronouncement
Ìkéde kan wà tó tún lágbára
that
bẹ́ẹ̀.
those who were in the
Wípé
past
àwọn tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n wà
were
lẹ́yìn.
no people.
Wọ́n jẹ́ àwọn tí wọ́n
They
jẹ́
were no people.
wọn kì í ṣe ènìyàn tẹ́lẹ̀.
Nobody regarded them as human beings.
Sẹ́ni tí ó tiẹ̀ pè wọ́n lẹ́yìn.
But as they came to Christ,
Wọ́n ní bó ṣe wá sọ́dọ̀
when
Jésù.
they came to meet with
Nígbà
Christ,
tí wọ́n wá bá Kristi
he said
pàdé.
they were made members of his family.
Ó wá sọ wọ́n di ara ẹbí.
That is what we are saying about this transformation.
Nǹkan tí a sọ nípa ìyípadà yìí nìyí.
This is what God does for any life
Nǹkan tí Ọlọ́run ṣe fún ayé
that is
nìyí.
surrendered to Christ.
Tí a bá jọ̀wọ́ fún Kristi.
Anyone who comes to him
Ẹnikẹ́ni tó bá wá sọ́dọ̀
and
rẹ̀.
is surrendered to
Tó
him
wá jọ̀wọ́ ara rẹ̀
to
fún.
work out his perfect and excellent will in him.
láti mú kí ìfẹ́ rẹ̀ kó di mímúṣẹ
The
nínú ayé
truth
rẹ̀.
is this, people of God.
òtítọ́ ni eléyìí èyí nìyẹn
There is
Ọlọ́run.
no good and great
kò
thing
sí ìkankan náà tó dára tó sì
the
tóbi.
Lord cannot bring out of any
tí
life
Ọlọ́run ò lè mú jáde láti inú ayé ká.
if it is surrendered to him.
nígbà tí a bá jọ̀wọ́ rẹ̀ fún un.
No matter how wretched,
kò sí bí ayé náà ṣe lè
no
fún.
matter how
kò sí bí
insignificant
ayé náà bó ṣe lè jẹ́ aláìjẹ́
it
ìkankan
has
tó.
needed to be.
bí ó ti rí tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀.
If such life is surrendered to
tí a
Christ,
bá jọ̀wọ́ ayé náà fún
if
Ọlọ́run.
such life is handed over to
tí a
him,
bá jọ̀wọ́ ayé náà
the
fún un.
Lord can bring out good and great things out of such life.
Ọlọ́run lè mú nǹkan tó lágbára tó sì dára tó
Unlike we do as human beings.
yàtọ̀ sí bí àwa ṣe máa ń ṣe gẹ́gẹ́ bí
God is always patient with every one of us
Ọlọ́run máa mú sùúrù pẹ̀lú
to
gbogbo wa
work out the best in
láti lè
us
mú ohun tó dára jù nínú ayé
if we
wa.
can only hand over to him.
Bí àwa bá kàn jọ̀wọ́ ayé wa fún un.
There is no limit to what God could
Kò
do
sí nǹkan náà tí Ọlọ́run ò lè ṣe.
with any life and destiny.
Pẹ̀lú ayé tàbí ìpín.
Such a life had been from the beginning.
Bí ayé náà bó ṣe lè rí láti ìbẹ̀rẹ̀.
In fact, people of
Kódà
God,
gan ẹ̀yin ènìyàn Ọlọ́run.
Jesus is not only looking for good lives to keep.
Ọlọ́run kì í wá ayé tó dára gan láti máa wá.
He is not only looking for good lives to
Kì í
keep,
ṣe kìkì àwọn ayé tó dà nìkan ní
but he is
wá.
also looking for wretched and miserable
Àwọn
lives
ayé tó ti tòṣì ayé tí ò jámọ́
to
kankan
transform.
láti lè yí padà.
If we will see,
Aláàyè kó ní ọ̀nà
he
tiẹ̀.
will transform our
Yóò
lives.
ṣe ayé tiwa padà.
That's why he said
Ìdí nìyẹn tó fi wí pé
in Luke chapter 10,
ìwé Lúùkù orí
verse
kẹwàá
10,
ẹsẹ̀ kẹwàá.
Luke chapter 19, I beg your pardon.
Ìwé Lúùkù orí kọkànlélógún.
Luke chapter
Ìwé
19,
Lúùkù orí
verse
kọkànlélógún.
10, to seek
Láti wá
and to save
àti láti gba
those that are lost.
àwọn èèyàn tí ó
He's not looking for those who are righteous.
kìí ṣe àwọn tó jẹ́ olódodo
He
ní wa.
looks for those who have been
Wọ́n
lost,
fún àwọn tí ó ti sọ.
those that have been rejected,
Tí a ti kàn
those
sílẹ̀.
that have been cast away,
Jẹ́ pé a ti lé
those
dànù.
that have been the spell has been placed upon them. They could no longer enter into the kingdom of
Àwọn tó
God.
jẹ́ pé a ti fègùn lé lórí pé wọ́n ní wọ ìjọba
By the
Ọlọ́run.
way they live their lives,
Nípa bí wọ́n ṣe ń gbé ìgbé ayé
he
wọn.
said, when I discover any of
Wọ́n
them,
sọ pé tẹ̀yìn bá ti lè
or
gbé ìgbé
when
ayé
any
wọn.
of them come to me,
Nígbàkúgbà tí ẹnikẹ́ni nínú wọn bá wá
as I seek for
bí
them,
mo ti ń wá wọn ká.
if any of them pays attention
Ìkankan nínú wọn bá fi
and
èyí sí.
chooses to come to me,
Yóò sì wá yàn láti wá
I
lọ́dọ̀
will
mi.
never leave him the way I meet him.
Ìní fi sílẹ̀ bí mo ṣe
I
wá.
will save his life.
Àgbẹ̀ ayé rẹ̀ lọ.
This transformation
Bí ayé
will be
ìyípadà
carried out in him.
á wàá ṣe nínú.
That's why he said
Ìyẹn tó fi wí pé
in Gospel according to St. Luke
nínú ìwé Lúùkù
chapter 5
orí ìkarùn-ún
verse 31
ẹsẹ̀
and
ìkọkànlélọ́gbọ̀n
verse 32,
àti ẹsẹ̀ ìkejìlélọ́gbọ̀n.
those who are
Àwọn
healthy,
tó jẹ́ wípé
those who are
àwọn
healthy
tó jẹ́ onílera
do not look for
wọ́n
physicians.
sì ń wá
He
oníṣègùn. Ó
said
wá wípé
he has
òun
come
sọ pé òun wá
to save
láti gbà á.
those who are
Àwọn tó
lost.
jẹ́ wípé wọ́n ti
I
sọnù.
don't want to go into it because we do not have time.
Ìfẹ́ lọ
God,
ẹ̀yin ènìyàn Ọlọ́run.
some of the women mentioned in the text,
Ara àwọn obìnrin tí a dárúkọ nínú ìtàn
look at
yìí.
them.
Ẹ wò wọ́n.
Tamar, in fact,
Ó ní arí ní kí.
called son of Judah.
Ẹ́rì yìí ó jẹ́ ọmọ Júdà.
By implication,
Èyí túmọ̀ sí wípé
Judah was the father he,
And I
believe not many people will do.
mo sì gbàgbọ́ pé kì í ṣe gbogbo èèyàn yóò
Who
fẹ́
likes to identify with such a crafty woman?
tani ẹni náà tí ó fẹ́ bá owó èèyàn tó kún fún àrékérekè
Who
bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe.
married two children of Judah and eventually married the father-in-law himself in the crafty way.
Ẹ tó jẹ́ pé ó fẹ́ ọmọ Júdà méjì tó sì tún wá fẹ́ bàbá ọkọ.
What a dirty life anyone may want to isolate himself from.
Irú ìgbé ayé tó burú wo tó tó bẹ́ẹ̀ tó jẹ́ pé gbogbo èèyàn ni ó mọ̀ sá fún un.
And I ask myself,
Mo sì wá ń bira mi léèrè.
why must God use such a person?
Èé ṣe tọ́lọ́run fún wa lóru ẹni bẹ́ẹ̀.
Was there no other woman on earth
Ṣé kò
that
sí-
could be used of God?
Ṣé kò sí àwọn obìnrin míì tọ́lọ́run lè lò nínú ayé mọ́?
Why this woman
Èé ṣe tọ́lọ́run.
of Christ's grace
Eléyìí-
that we are talking about?
Eléyìí fi bí oore ọ̀fẹ́ Kristi bí ó ṣe pọ̀ tó
And it
Kristi náà sọ̀rọ̀ nípa rẹ̀.
expresses to
Ó
us
sì wá fi hàn fún wa
what this grace could do
ohun tí oore ọ̀fẹ́ yìí lè ṣe
if any man comes to tap of it.
bí ẹnikẹ́ni bá wá láti gbà nínú rẹ̀.
And this is one of the great lessons
ara àwọn
of
ẹ̀kọ́
Christmas.
ara àwọn ẹ̀kọ́ kérésì ó sì nìyí.
That in Jesus we celebrate.
wípé nínú Jésù tá à ń ṣàjọyọ̀ rẹ̀
There
yìí.
is a great grace you cannot find anywhere.
wípé oore ọ̀fẹ́ tó tóbi tó jẹ́ wípé àlè rí níbi
The
kíkí wà nínú
grace
rẹ̀.
is that
oore ọ̀fẹ́ náà ni wípé
it is so rich,
jẹ́ nǹkan tí ó lágbára.
it is so wonderful
ó jẹ́ nǹkan náà tí ó kún fún
that
ìyàlẹ́nu.
it can change any
tó
life.
jẹ́ kí ó lè sí ní gbogbo ibi
The
ọ̀dọ́.
Jesus that was born of your sins.
màá wá dárí gbogbo ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ rẹ jì.
I will blot out all of your
màá mú gbogbo
misdeeds.
àìṣedédé rẹ kúrò.
I will transform you to a new
màá
man.
wá sọ ọ́ di ènìyàn ọ̀tọ̀ pátápátá.
And I will now showcase the greatness of my glory.
màá wá fi ògo
And
náà mi
grace.
tó ṣe nínú támárì nu.
The truth is this, people of God.
òtítọ́ nìyí ẹ̀yin ènìyàn Ọlọ́run.
The worst of the sinners,
ẹlẹ́ṣẹ̀ tí ó burú jù.
the worst of the outcast and rejected,
ẹni tó jẹ́ bàápàdé pẹ̀lú
and
Jésù.
allows him to have his way,
wá gbà láàyè láti ní ọ̀nà títí
can
ẹ̀.
become the
fi orí ọ̀fẹ́ ṣe lọ́ṣọ̀ọ́.
that
nǹkan
perform
tó jẹ́ pé àwọn pidánpidán lè ṣe lọ.
only by his transforming power.
nípa agbára rẹ̀ tó ń yí nípa
And
rẹ̀.
if you want to doubt
tó
it,
o bá sì fẹ́ sí èméjì nípa
this
rẹ̀.
was the exact thing that he did in Tamar.
nǹkan yìí gan ló sì wá ṣe nínú ayé Támárì.
That was what he did in Tamar.
nǹkan tó ṣe nínú ayé Támárì nìyí.
Let me digress a little.
ẹ jẹ́ kí n yà sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ díẹ̀.
Let me digress a
jẹ́
little.
kí n kàn.
Side on the cross.
tí ó lè ètò jẹ́ pé ó wà lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ rẹ̀ lórí
The
àgbélébùú.
man was a notorious sinner.
alákùnrin yìí ó jẹ́ ẹlẹ́ṣẹ̀.
That would be
ẹ wo bí ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ alákùnrin yìí bí ó ṣe pọ̀
that
tó.
he had to